Thank you, Anirudh, for giving your time. Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
It's my
Thank you.
pleasure.
Shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. With your experience in the law firm, what, as per you, is the role of having all statutory compliances in place towards branding of any firm?
Yes, well, when you look at law as a separate segment or an industry by itself,
Okay.
you have a number of restrictions on branding which are not there in many other industries or businesses.
Okay.
So, for instance, the Advocates Act is very particular that you should not solicit clients,
Okay.
and that virtually puts a big embargo on going and promoting yourself in the open market.
Okay.
So, when you look at it internationally, international firms are permitted to solicit.
Okay.
And when you look at India, some of the firms decide not to follow the regulations too seriously.
Okay.
We believe in very strongly abiding by these regulations, because I'm from quite a traditional family of lawyers who have ensured
Okay.
that these regulations are followed very strictly.
Okay.
That said, I have inadvertently stumbled upon an area that has ended up being a legitimate source of marketing and branding.
Okay.
When I say inadvertently stumbled on it, I originally, in my college, I used to write a fair bit. So I ended up writing a book during my 5th year on an aspect of constitutional law, the law of reservations.
Oh,
and I
okay.
followed that up with another book on the law of arbitration, and we've been editing, a friend of mine and I have been editing one of the leading treatises on arbitration in India.
Okay.
What I've also been writing a column quite often I wrote a fair bit on the platform Bar and Bench. I've written a few pieces in the Hindu and other online journals as well.
Okay.
What I realized was that at some point of time you get your recognition by virtue of your writing, because your writing speaks for itself.
Okay.
So and that is something that is certainly legitimate and not prohibited by the provision by the legal regime relating to the practice of law. So I have found that to be the most legitimate source of building a brand.
Okay.
And once you do write quite often on a subject, you get called for certain conferences, you get called as a speaker to participate in certain debates on public issues. So all of this helps indirectly in building your image and building your brand.
Okay.
So when you talk about brand building as a lawyer, I think this is the only legitimate source today, and that's the route that I have taken to try and build a brand.
And with your experience in the segment, what would you say are your 2 or 3 learnings that you would like to pass to others from similar segment?
In what sense? You
Towards
mean
brand building.
brand building in the field of law? Or
Yeah, in the field of law.
Well, I think, as I've already mentioned, there is attending conferences and speaking at conferences.
Okay.
So I speak at a fair few conferences, and that helps as well, because at some
Okay.
point of time you have a lot of like-minded people who assemble there.
Okay.
You have a lot of people from the business side who are interested in specific areas of law.
Okay.
So if you speak at those conferences, you get to further build your brand.
Correct.
Yes, and today, well, there is a move towards some sort of specialization.
Okay.
I would not say I am in favor of that kind of specialized brand building as you have in the West.
Okay.
Because I think having an overall view helps. But when you look at it, if you looked at the field of law about 20 to 30 years ago,
Okay.
you would broadly say you have lawyers who deal with civil law, and you have lawyers who deal with criminal law.
Okay.
Today it's perhaps narrowed down. You have people like us who do a lot of commercial dispute resolution, which may involve aspects of civil law, may have some aspects of criminal law, so insofar as white collar crimes are concerned.
Okay.
Involves a lot of intellectual property rights litigation, arbitration, company law matters.
Okay.
So it's by itself is a wide spread. But
Okay.
if you look at what the traditional lawyers handled 30 years ago,
Okay.
it would perhaps be an even wider spread.
Okay. Okay.
You do have lawyers today who do only intellectual property rights.
Okay.
You have lawyers who do only taxation.
Okay.
So in that sense, we are moving towards a specialized brand building in the field of law.
Okay.
Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I think only time will tell. I believe that
it's good.
I believe that it has to be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
I believe that you need the overall perspective to advise your client properly. You can't, for instance, if there is a criminal law angle to a case and you have no clue as to what the criminal laws of India state, then you may not be able to advise your client to the best. You may not be able to do justice to your client's case.
Okay.
So it helps to have the overall perspective.
Okay.
But that said, we are moving to an era where you're moving from a very, very generalized practice to some level of specialization.
Okay.
I'm not. When I talk about specialization, I was working in a law firm in London for 2 years.
Okay.
And I can tell you that there would be lawyers who are specialized in handling only arbitrations relating to construction of oil rigs. Something as specialized as that.
Okay.
I don't think we are going to get there.
Okay.
And I don't think that's... And I would think that having a slightly broader perspective would be better.
Okay.
But you do, for instance, have some areas of specialization like intellectual property rights and taxation emerging today. I do know of Indian firms that do only intellectual property rights, litigation and nothing else.
Okay.
Intellectual property rights, litigation and transactional work and nothing else.
Okay. Thank you so much, Anirudh.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.